We have sort of a cliche idea about what psychedelic means, and of course we first think about the drugs for which the term was coined, but then we think about the music, Grateful Dead, you know, we think about swirling amoeba lights, we think about Inagata Devita maybe, but psychedelic, the word literally means mind manifesting. You know, classically surreal, eerie, sort of surreal images. We just have straight up weird stuff.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Brown Box, where we pull out an album from our personal collections and talk a little bit about it and hopefully turn some of you onto it. We got a real good one for you this week. My name is Ryan HARSCH.
I'm Chris Leroy.
And let's go inside the box and see what we have. Make no...
It's very colorful.
Look at this.
Woo!
So this one is the 13th Floor Elevators. It's their first record. And it's called The Psychedelic Sounds of the 13th Floor Elevators. And this is, you're looking at, of course, a vinyl edition. And this is kind of falling apart here, but you have the gatefold. That's kind of cool. It shows you some of the like paraphernalia from that time period.
Yeah.
And it's two LPs. One's in mono, one's in stereo.
Oh, that's
kind
nice.
of a cool edition. You have a great record. What do you know about this band?
ROKY, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's probably from Nuggets. You know,
Yeah.
those wonderful Nuggets. Originally, I had them on cassettes, and it would be, you know, Northwest power punk. You know, there'd be all these little side,
Garage.
you know, these little pieces.
Yeah.
But the original Nuggets album, called Nuggets, that was, I'm trying to remember who produced it. Lenny Kaye. That original Nuggets album, it was powerful because you just saw, here's all this music that predated what people then celebrated as punk stuff.
Right.
They go, wait, no, this goes back.
And no one knows about
Yeah,
it.
this goes back, you know, to Dirty Water and stuff.
Yeah.
That the sound was regional.
Yeah.
And these sounds were, there were people already dedicated to that way before it had this other later label.
Yeah.
That punk was, that's
This is like 10 years before.
that's 10 years before punk stuff, and in some ways is rawer and more powerful.
Yeah.
Because it's not, I don't have to spit on you about this. I'm just going to play this badass rock music because music was starting to lose its oomph.
Right.
And people understood it way out, you know, in the Midwest and all over the place. People were understanding, you know, there's Chuck Berry, and what have we lost? We're going to get this back by writing our own songs and playing them in our garage and coming out and starting to do this music. And then, you know, ROKY ERICKSON and the first, I mean, they had a 13th Floor Elevator thing on the very first Nuggets. I think.
Yeah.
And so
You're Gonna Miss Me.
Yeah. And it's like, wow,
She's on this album.
this band is cool.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much music they did produce.
Yeah, and they were crazy. Like they had a crazy kind of existence. They were in Austin, Texas, in the '60s, of course, and they were constantly harassed by police because of their very strict drug laws. If you can imagine, in Texas, these guys loved their LSD. They loved to smoke, you know, weed, and so all that kind of informed their sound. But then also they were interesting because it was a different pocket of like music at that time. You know, you had like San Francisco, you had the East Coast, and you had some bands in Texas.
Yeah.
One little interesting thing too is that Roky Erickson knew, he was like a mentor to Janis Joplin, who was also from Texas.
Yeah.
So if you listen to her and then listen to him, you kind of see where she got her voice from.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
right.
when you hear him sing, he doesn't sing all the songs, but when he does, you know it's him. And their sound is kind of nuts. Like they have a guy who's on what is it, a bottle? Like he's
Yeah.
playing a jug.
Yeah,
And he's blowing into it with a microphone attached to
There
it,
you
and
go.
that's all he does. Like
That's
so,
rock and roll.
please go watch like a video of 13th floor elevators. You will see this, and they don't look like crazy hippie guys, right? Like they're all kind of nicely dressed, and they come out and they just do their songs, but they were kind of pushing the sound of at that time.
Yeah.
And I think they probably indirectly influenced, like you said earlier, like a lot of bands that came later on.
Yeah.
Just would cite this record in particular as something that was heavy for them.
So when you first did you first hear them through the Nuggets series?
Yeah, I heard him through the Nuggets series, and then there's a documentary on Roky Erickson. Like he basically he took so much acid that he like basically became mentally incompetent. And I think what happened was he got caught for marijuana, and he decided to plead like insanity, which was not a good idea because they put him in a mental hospital.
Okay.
And then they started doing shock treatment on him.
There you go.
And so it was a combination of like his mental neuroses and then like, shock treatment. And they just kept saying, he became insane more or less. And so there's a really kind of, I forgot the name of it, but documentary of just like him, like present day. And then it goes back into the past with this band. But interesting guy, and just kind of like, and then also it's like, yeah, you can draw comparisons to someone else we talked about, like Syd Barrett.
Sure.
Like, this is like the American kind of version of that.
Right.
Where
Who stayed underground. I mean, he had
Yeah.
later albums.
he did. Yeah. He made albums like on his own, and they were all kind of different too, but like the stuff he did with the band, they made a lot of different records,
Yeah.
and I have other ones too, but this one is like the debut one is kind of grabs you. It's different.
It's different.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of, so it's almost like two things. Go and find that original Nuggets
Yeah.
album compilation because it introduced you to these, when you hear them, you say, well, some of these were singles.
Yeah.
Some of them weren't. But they all had this kind of raggedy, garagey feel so early in the process
Definitely.
that it became a style. And I always liked the name 13th Floor Elevator, which, because there's no 13th floor on elevators, right? So it's like, it's a music for nowhere.
Uh-huh.
We're creating this stuff that maybe no one's supposed to hear.
Exactly.
But we're here, and we're gonna keep banging it out. I mean, even for my own band, we've been around for so many years. It's 40 years, and we can play some very nuanced pop music, and we can play a variety of things, a kind of folk thing, a country thing, and whatnot. But I'm always the happiest when someone comes up to me and says, "You guys are cool. You're like a garage band." And it's like, and it's like, oh man,
that is. Yeah, and it's not like a stigma anymore, or maybe it was. I don't know if that's the word for it, but
I don't know.
like bands like this, like they definitely all. It's cool because you listen to like, let's say, pick any band from the punk, Sex Pistols,
Sure.
whatever, and then you kind of trace back to like, okay, the Stooges, and then what were they listening to? It's like these are the bands that the originators were listening to.
Oh, sure.
That that informed later sounds.
That's right. The Stooges or NC5, and they're all kind of close to each other around this era. But how some of these songs, the Trogs or something, how that ever got on the radio in the first place, is the freedom of what music was in the 60s. People were looking for whatever someone would listen to, and these things would pop up from so you could. Imagine, I remember, riding around on my Stingray bike, watching all these garage bands or people playing at the Armory or at junior high dances, and thinking some of these guys are they might have a single someday. Some of these folks will have a record.
They'll tap into something.
Yeah, they'll tap into something.
Yeah.
So I think everyone who played in their garage or played local things at that time, they had a little bit of that in them. You know,
Yeah.
they say, who knows where we're going to go with this? There's a great quote John Doe talks about it. Every band starts out and says, we're going to be big as the Beatles. We'll be bigger than the Beatles. Every band says that.
Yeah.
And then when you realize you're not
Yeah.
going to be the Beatles or as big as the Beatles, then you settle in to who you're going to be.
Yeah.
And it's
Create your identity.
you create your identity, and that's what these guys are.
Absolutely. And it's very unique, and it's like, other things that came out after this may have sounded like this, but they never really, and that's how you know you have a great record.
Yeah.
Velvet Underground Records, another example, all their records. People got close, but it's like you never had that sound you can never get.
No.
And so we highly recommend this record as well as their other ones. Please check them out if you like rock and roll. That's all I'm going to say. It doesn't have to even be psychedelic. Just rock and roll.
It's rock.
Right? So thank you again for your time. Brown Box, I'm Ryan Harsch.
And I'm Chris Leroy.
Thank you so much. See you next time.
He means with honey on the outside, sugar on the inside, pops up way fat and sweet, a taste that knocks you off your feet. Kellogg Sugar Snack.
And I like, it's real strange. I like when it was real strange for the Elevators to be the only ones doing this feedback and standing on your amplifier and banging your guitar, and hear groups like the Who and the Yardbirds that would be doing that too. And like when we heard Shapes of Things, we said, my God, we better get our stuff out, man, because these guys are just really, Yeah. I said, that really bothered us because we had some stuff that just hadn't, we'd already recorded and hadn't been released. And we said, man, we better watch that. We better start getting our stuff out because these cats are in on it. Yeah. And that's the same thing I think it's going to happen with me is I have all these, I'm into this horror bag with rock and roll music, and I call it horror rock. And I'm just afraid that with all, as much as these sickies love horror, like Robert Bloch and Alfred Hitchcock, people are going to boom in on that, man. It's not going to be long before there are going to be rock and roll horror songs.
Pick a pack of Cheerios, pick a pack of Tricks, pick a pack of Cocoa Puffs, pick a pack of Kicks, pick a pack of Frosty-Os and pick up Wheaties too. In the General Mills Pick a Pack package.
Grooving is easy, baby, if you know how. Grooving so easy, baby, if you know how. You don't have to keep yourself forever slaving. Go out and chase whatever you're craving. No, it doesn't have to be. Oh no, it doesn't have to be so hard on you. It's easy to see now, baby, nobody's fool. You won't gain nothing, baby, by playing it cool. I can show you things you might never have learned. Show you exactly just how you got burned. No, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be so hard on you. There's nothing stopping you, baby. There's just yourself. And if you can't see that, baby, oh boy, I can't help. I can show you things you might never have learned. Show you exactly just how you got burned. No, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be.
You gotta open up your mind and let everything come through.
You gotta open up your mind and let everything come through. Open up your mind, let everything come through.